Hello and welcome to another episode of Critical Coffee Considerations with me, Francis Peck. Very proud today that I'm doing some preparatory work for my botanic garden, who is having an exposition on coffee amongst several of our other topics: bananas, botanical drawings, and the seed bank. But I'm working on the coffee part. What else? And to do that, we have several of the roasting, not really profiles, but basically I went for one dark roast at 15 minutes, 240 degrees, and then I kind of went from 6 minutes, which was around the yellowing phase as I was following the dark roast. Then 9 minutes and 12 minutes, so that we kind of have an overview of the darkening process. Now, at this point, I'm just going to actually cup it at these different time points. So I try to get as consistent a roast as possible for this one profile by, first of all, not using the cooling cycle on the Genie Cafe, but manually cooling them, and then still allowing the cooling cycle on the empty container, so that at each point the starting temperature of the machine should have been at 60 degrees, so that the profiles they went through should have been very similar, allowing me, when I just looked at the time, that it should be similar to that darkest roast. Now the lightest one at 6 minutes is just, well, it's didn't even really start yellowing. It was, I guess, just a few seconds before. And given that the one at 9 minutes was already hard to grind, I didn't want to sabotage my grinder, so I'm only cupping the three darker ones. Now even this second uh, least roasted one is still very cinnamon, even a little bit before cinnamon, and you can actually see it here. So now I'm going to break the crust, but there's not a lot of crust to break at this point. Even for the darker one, so I did pick up still a bit of grassy. So for the slightly darker one, yeah, I picked it up when I was smelling the grounds, kind of picked up the same kind of flavors, being grassy. This a little bit more woody, for lack of a better word. And then we have the darkest one here, which probably got to just around second crack and has an actual crust. Okay, a lot sweeter, a bit of chocolate actually in the smell. Not the very typical Robusta smell at very least, so that is promising. So this coffee comes from still the same place in Congo. Okay, removing whatever could be considered the crust. But really at these lighter roasts there's not a lot to actually remove. Shortly we will also have a cupping video coming up. I already registered it together with Rob Pollen, who is also a PhD student working on coffee flavors. So very interesting. He's a credited Robusta cupper. So that will be very insightful to learn how to properly cup Robusta. Now I already did pick a few things up from him. So anything I do correctly, credit goes to him. Everything that I still make mistakes on, that's just because of the difficulty of building up these routines, let's say. Okay, let's start with the lightest one. Yeah, just not pleasant at all. Very just herbal, grassy. Nothing really else. I mean, this is just really for educational purpose of seeing how a roast progresses, and it is, if you're a home roaster, it is also a good exercise. Okay, let's see if the 9-minute one, which is still, well, no, this was the 9-minute one, the 6, 9, 12. This should have been around first crack actually. Okay, now flavors are already getting more interesting. Whereas at this phase, it's just grassy you kind of taste. Here you do start to feel some coffee-like acids, um, which can be agreeable. There is a bit of the Robusta tobacco flavors also going on. And now for the one that I try to push to around second crack, didn't really have a lot of smoke developing, so wasn't really beyond second crack at the very least, but either during or shortly before. Okay, let's see. But it is quite ashy. And bitter chocolate, very dark. So the ideal roast for this coffee would be between the second but last and this last one. At this point, neither of them is very agreeable, although this might be okay with a Hario or a Chemex filter coffee. Who knows, even maybe an espresso. Otherwise I would actually try that out, but these coffees are going now straight to Nerdland. I've hidden a few Ethiopian Arabica beans within some of these heaps of Robusta beans so that people can try and find the Arabicas hidden within the Robustas. It's really remarkable how similar at least these ones are. These are kind of very small Robusta beans compared to this, the Vietnam Robusta I have shared on earlier videos is just massive, gigantic. But these ones are size-wise very similar to the ones I have from Ethiopia, who are great too actually. So a very fine coffee. So I'm very curious to see if the people at Nerdland, it's 3 years and up, are going to be able to find them back, and then they have a chance to win tickets to visit our botanic garden. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.